As you guys know, this week we got to see some gameplay from Call of Duty Black Ops 6 campaign. And as you guys know on the channel, I like to dive into the story of Call of Duty. And today is going to be no different. With Call of Duty Black Ops 6, we have a bunch of returning characters like Frank Woods and Russell Adler, but on top of that, a bunch of new characters as well. And what I'm going to be doing in this video is going over all of these characters, including a little bit of all of their backstories, so you can know what you're getting yourself into with the story of Black Ops 6. And if you'd like to see Call of Duty story videos like this one, I've got a ton on the channel. I do this year round. And if you like this sort of thing, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, notifications, because trust me, we can go way more in depth with these characters than we are today. So let's start out with the big one, the one known as Russell Adler. Now he is probably going to be the most important character going into Black Ops 6 because as we know, he reportedly has gone rogue. In the very first mission of Black Ops 6, we find out that he is hunting down someone mysterious or something mysterious known as Pantheon, and for some reason is being hunted down by the CIA and a couple of the new characters who we're going to talk about later on. As we know from Black Ops Cold War, his job then was hunting down a mysterious group known as Perseus. In other words, some people in the Soviet Union. And eventually, by the very end of the story, in the year 1984, he ends up finally hunting down Stitch, the current head of Perseus, and seemingly taking him out. After this, he seemingly disappears and isn't heard from for a long time. That is until the year 1991, when Black Ops 6 takes place. And that's when our characters run into him, somewhere in Kuwait. Next up, moving on to Frank Woods, a character with a very long backstory, and if you'd like to see a video just on him, maybe going over his timeline, you can show me by hitting that like button, because I could literally do like a 20-25 minute video just on that alone. So if you want to see that, hit that like button. The more likes this gets, the more likely I will be to do that video. But keeping it simple for this video, his story left off 2 years earlier in the year 1989 during the Panama City invasion. He was sent to track down someone by the name of Manuel Noriega when plans get changed and all of a sudden they have another target. He is told to take a shot firing at who he believes is Raul Menendez, but as it turns out, it is his best friend, his fellow soldier, Alex Mason. He shoots him in the head and kills him, and at the same time, Raul Menendez comes around the corner and also does some damage to him.
Mason! Fool. You bastard! Menendez!
Shooting Frank Woods in the knees, it cripples him. And moving 2 years forward into the year 1991, Frank Woods is working in a different role within the CIA. He is not going to be the sassy field guy that calls people onions, but rather he is going to be the comms man in Black Ops 6, working with all of the other soldiers that we're going to work with, but this time from behind a desk or in a wheelchair. Now, another one which you may not expect is someone by the name of Helen Park, a character from Black Ops Cold War. Now, this is a character that has worked closely with Russell Adler and is appearingly making a return within the game. She was a young prodigy at Oxford and eventually joined MI6. Well, in Black Ops 6, she is a squad leader within Delta Force. In a mission where you go on in Iraq, she is the one leading Delta Force. We don't know how big of a role she will play within the game, but we do know she is returning, which is interesting because one of the decisions that you have to make in Black Ops Cold War is whether to save Helen Park or whether to save Lazar. So based off of that, we know that the canon ending is that Bell chooses to save Park.
Move your ass, Bell!
5. We're nearly out of time!
3, 2, 1.
So that puts an end to the returning characters, at least the ones that are confirmed for now. There very well may be more coming back. But we also have our new characters, starting off with what I think will be the main one, a character by the name of Troy Marshall. He is said to be Frank Wood's protege, essentially exactly like him, but he is able to walk. He is going to be the field leader on the missions that we go on within Black Ops 6. Whereas Frank Woods will be the comms man, Troy Marshall is the methodical leader that is incredibly stubborn and can sometimes border on recklessness, just like Frank Woods. And he works underneath a CIA handler by the name of Jane Harrow. As far as Jane goes, she is going to be our contact within the CIA. And as I mentioned, our characters, Russell Adler, Frank Woods, and including Troy Marshall and a couple others we're going to talk about, have all gone rogue. So contacting their handler within the CIA is going to be a very interesting concept throughout the entirety of Black Ops 6. However, there is one more CIA character that we learned about within the Warzone teasers for Black Ops 6. Now, I don't know much about this one yet, but what we do know is at the time of Black Ops 1, the CIA director and the person hunting down Russell Adler is known as Daniel Livingstone. Again, don't know much more about this one, but we saw it within the Warzone teaser. And because our characters are forced to go rogue and can't really use their CIA assets, what they have to do is find some people to work alongside them. Some people that have less than reputable reputations. The first of which goes by the name of Felix Newman. Not much is known about him, but we know that he is a technical genius and kind of works along the tech side of things. The second goes by the name of Suvati Dumas. As far as she goes, she is a mysterious assassin. Again, not much known about her. She's a mysterious assassin. Then we have this.
Up through the service hatch. You two first. I'll give you a boost. You first, Adler. Come on, Case.
So the character that we play as in Black Ops 6 is known as Case, and that is of course a code name, a mysterious name similar to Bell from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. However, when we first spawn into this mission at the very beginning, it shows us that Case's real name appears to be William Cauldron, a name that I suspect will eventually mean something. If not, it may be the case that you get to create your character, kind of like in Black Ops Cold War, but again, this would be a very weird name to pick. But for now, this isn't really a name that sparks or rings any bells in my brain as far as Call of Duty goes, so either it's something brand new or something I'm completely missing. But eventually, as we get more information, I guess you could say we will get to the bottom of the case. Now, two other characters that we were introduced to in early teasers for Black Ops 6 are number one, Colin Powell, who at the time in the real world of 1991 was Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman for the United States Department of Defense. He will be someone that will apparently be talking to the head of the CIA, as we talked about earlier, and oddly enough, he was actually the person in charge of the invasion of Panama in the year 1989, the same mission that got Alex Mason killed. I truly believe that that cannot be a coincidence. The second character that we saw in this and have seen in many teasers, and there's one mission pretty much dedicated to him, is Saddam Hussein. I am guessing that he is going to be one of the members, if not a leader, of Pantheon, the series of bad guys that we have talked about throughout this video and over the past weeks as well. So aside from that, that is really the only evil or bad character that we know as of now for Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So those are all of the new and returning characters to Call of Duty Black Ops 6. If there's any other that you've heard about or want to hear more about, let me know down in the comments. There's certain characters like Russell Adler and Frank Woods that I think need a much deeper dive before the launch of Black Ops 6, and let's just say I have some things planned for that. And if you want to see that, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, turn notifications on, let me know what you think down in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace.
We are